For generations, women walked into clinics with unexplained weight gain and emotional exhaustion, only to be told their symptoms were a normal part of life. In places like the Philippines, those conversations around reproductive health carried a heavy weight of discomfort, making it difficult for anyone to openly ask what was happening to their own bodies. Without the vast internet communities we have today, women who developed these symptoms in their early 20s, like the founder of the advocacy platform PCOS Millennials, were left to navigate their health in total silence. Isolated by geography and starved of reliable medical information, millions of women internalized a treatable physical condition as a source of personal failure and cultural shame. A major part of that confusion came from a basic medical misunderstanding. For decades, the condition was branded as polycystic ovary syndrome, leaving people to assume it was exclusively about having cysts on their ovaries. But a person can have the syndrome without a single cyst. This forced a medical consensus to rename the condition to PMOS, polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome. This shifts the focus from a single reproductive organ to a complex systemic network. PMOS impacts insulin resistance, disrupts hormonal balance, and influences mood regulation. But while the clinical science has advanced, public understanding is lagging far behind. Social media is still flooded with outdated advice, leaving newly diagnosed patients tangled in the same old web of misinformation and stigma. Updating a medical textbook doesn't automatically educate the teenagers scrolling on their phones at 2 a.m. Someone has to bridge that gap and translate the clinical science into language young people actually use. That translation effort is happening right now, far from the medical boards, in the suburban neighborhoods of Chandler, Arizona. Here, 4 high school students, Ira Bagga, Nikhita Vishwanath, Aparna Venkitasubramanian, and Shyla Dreman, founded the nonprofit BreakingTheCycle, refusing to wait for adult authorities to start the conversation for them. Their motivation is deeply personal. Nikhita herself lives with PMOS, giving the group a ground-level view of the exact fears and questions teenagers are too embarrassed to ask their doctors. Having firsthand experience navigating those clinical blind spots pushed these teenagers to stop acting as passive patients and step up as proactive health advocates for their peers. To fight back against the false narratives dominating social platforms, they launched a digital campaign called Mythbuster Mondays, delivering evidence-based education that has already reached over 200,000 people. They also bring that education directly into the physical world. Their Bookmark Your Health campaign distributes interactive, highly accessible materials that put critical health information right into students' hands without feeling intimidating. Recognizing that minority communities bear a disproportionate burden of PMOS, they built culturally intelligent outreach programs, like hosting Salud de Arte painting workshops alongside a local Latina organization. And they back up their educational work with hard financial support, raising over $6,800 to directly fund Dr. Jia Zhu's PMOS research lab at Boston Children's Hospital. By attacking medical ignorance across digital feeds, local classrooms, community art spaces, and research laboratories simultaneously, BreakingTheCycle has constructed a highly effective, modern advocacy playbook. Looking to expand that mission, Ira sent a message across the globe, reaching out to PCOS Millennials in the Philippines. Neither organization had massive corporate backing or traditional sponsorship structures to rely on, so they forged an in-kind partnership built entirely on their mutual commitment to women's health. Their alliance proves that the shared reality of navigating a chronic illness is a far stronger foundation for global advocacy than simple geographic proximity or deep institutional pockets. This grassroots momentum led to the first ever PMOS Awareness Walk in the state of Arizona, held in Chandler. The event pulled the conversation off the internet and into the real world, physically bringing together healthcare professionals, scientific researchers, and local families to turn digital awareness into tangible action. The walk demonstrates that a group of high schoolers can build a public space where clinical experts and the local community meet on equal footing. The hyper-connected, educated environment these students are building today stands in stark contrast to the isolated silence endured by the older Filipina generation. By reaching patients early in their lives, BreakingTheCycle ensures young women understand that their irregular periods and hormonal shifts are valid medical realities requiring care rather than normal burdens they simply have to endure. Armed with the correct vocabulary and a supportive community, patients quickly learn that PMOS is a highly manageable condition, not a life sentence. When young women lead and collaborate across borders, they transform a clinical name change into a permanent end to generational silence.